Hello, how can I help you? Yeah, can I get like 17 McChickens? Sir, this is Achievement Hunting 101.
Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101, the only podcast that's still working even though everyone else has taken the holidays off. I'm Vulgar Latin, and with me this time is a podcast panelogamy. This combination has never happened before. It's a 27th Miss Miracle. We have X the Hero.
Hello.
And Kooshmoose.
Hello, what's the over-under and what do we win?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
I feel inadequate
I
now. I just said hello, and you're like, I got this whole spiel prepared.
Yep. And Kenny, no, Kenny was here, and then as it turns out, diarrhea, explosive diarrhea again for Kenny. Spam out your Imodiums.
I heard
He
it was in the closet, too.
Yeah.
So one too many trips to the Taco Bell.
To be fair, he just did say he wasn't feeling well, but we know what that.
We know.
We know.
We know.
We know.
We know. We saw it on camera. We know.
Why do
We
you have
know.
cameras in his bathroom?
Why
No,
don't you?
It wasn't in his bathroom. That's what's
That's
so
right,
wrong.
it was in the closet. Duh.
Yeah. Because we're always watching, waiting. Always from the shadows, but sometimes wearing a Superman outfit. So this time, we asked our beloved patrons, which game or numeral 2 scheduled to release next year are you most excited for? Getting right into the topic of discussion. Koos, would you like to read out things from our beloved patrons?
I would love to read out things. Scar says, ooh, same answer as last week. Silk Song. That is Hollow Knight, the sequel to Hollow Knight, for people who don't know. Assuming it releases in 2023 as planned, it's my most anticipated game. I love Hollow Knight. By all accounts, Silk Song should be a fun reinvention of that formula. I agree. I always like a good Vayner, and while I haven't put a whole lot of time into Hollow Knight just because of reasons, it is a good game. And I'm very excited to see what they do with the sequel. A Heizo Shade of Winter says, easily Diablo IV. I've waited long enough, and since Microsoft won't have Activision by then, it won't be Game Pass Day 1. Honorable mention to Octopath Traveler 2, which for no good reason is leaving Xbox behind this time. And T-Rhythm, Final Bar for Switch. T-Rhythm? I don't know. I'm not aware.
Theatrhythm, I think.
Theatrhythm?
Like theater rhythm? Theatrhythm?
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what it is. I have no idea what that is. Eruteric says, I'm going to agree with Ahizo and say Diablo 4. Ooh, I enjoyed playing through the third installment with my brother numerous times, so I'm really looking forward to the new one. I'm going to lose so many hours to the game. And Jay Black says, I've been waiting for the System Shock remake for years. I loved the original PC game, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. Of the games that are on my want-to-play list is Alan Wake 2, Diablo 4, or Diablo IV, that's 4, thank you, Jables, and Hogwarts Legacy. Now, I heard a lot of Diablo 4s, and I love me some Diablo. The Diablo Immortal was fun, but it was just a sample, a little teaser, I think, for more Diablo, true Diablo. And so when Diablo 4 hits, I'm going to be very excited. It's going to be very hard to pay full price if Activision Blizzard King isn't part of Microsoft. Because I'm going to be tempted to buy it, but I know that there's a good chance it could be in Game Pass if they get acquired. So that's a $70 game, or $90 if you want the little shinies.
Who doesn't want the little shinies?
Or $120 if you want all the shinies. Yes, yeah. And I don't think I want them. That's a lot of money for capes and things. But
hey, I don't want to. Is anyone else just concerned though? Like, have the last few Activision things really, or Blizzard things really grabbed you? I don't know. Maybe don't want to get in the way of the Diablo train. The last few Blizzard things have left me whelmed.
Whelmed.
Yeah. Well, I love me some Diablo. Diablo 3, this was before I was an achievement hunter. I just went crazy on Diablo 3, played it on the PC a whole bunch. Then when it came out to consoles, I was like, duh, yeah, I'm going to play that again and again and again. So I've played it multiple times on multiple platforms and really enjoyed it. Diablo 4, to me, looks very action-y. It looks to me like a really good Diablo 3, and if that's all it is, I'm super happy. If it's just more Diablo 3, I'm in. As far as other things I'm excited about, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, I know you don't agree with their lightsabers, and that the physics aren't right, and they don't cut things like they should, and I get that. But the game is fun. And like Diablo 4, if Jedi Survivor is just more of the previous game, I'm still okay with that. I'm also excited about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League because that group of developers did awesome things with Arkham. I'd love to see what's going to happen with that. And then when it comes to the indie scene, which I love my indies, Replaced, I've been so excited for that. Just the 8-bitness of it and the artistic style they've given to it, the motion, all the different things they're doing in the trailers. I'm really excited for that. I could totally be crushed if it sucks, but I think it's going to be good. And The Last Case of Benedict Fox is a Metroidvania. It looks really cool. I just love what's coming. And of course, the stuff that we don't know that's coming. That is always fun. You see stuff at E3, all these things are brought up. And yes, most of them are pushed out years, but you do get some things in the same year. So I'm hopeful that we'll see new stuff. And hopefully some of that will actually land in 2023.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, but with Jedi Survivor, what's going to stop you from singing it in the tune of Destiny's Child? Because I keep doing that.
I don't see a problem with that.
Jedi Survivor, I'm not no giver.
Hey, I'm not going to yuck your yum. That's how you want to play the game. You go for it.
I might. I
you
just
stream
might. It. Right? Yeah, I could. There's a few, and I before you steal all of our other stuff, I think Koosh will list off the whole release calendar. Yeah,
I'll keep going.
Well,
before
we move on though too far, I just wanted to give a little flashback, I guess, blast from the past. If y'all recall, on episode 7, that was 224 weeks ago.
Like it was yesterday.
Yesterday. I was the victim of some hazing where I was asked about Diablo 4, which I was unaware did not exist 224 weeks ago. So I tried to play it cool and walked right into the haze trap. If anyone remembers that.
Remember that.
That was my debut. Yeah, that was... Welcome to the podcast. Let's troll the heck out of you.
Oh, I didn't get hazed. I feel left
Moving
on. Yeah, I got some responses here. Ella Follette says, no question, definitely most excited for Silksong. I don't know. Hollow Knight would make me feel empty inside. Hawkeye Barry says, Suicide Squad, kill the Justice League. Rocksteady does great work, and I'm hoping it continues. And WildWest 08 says, Hogwarts and Alan Wake 2 are top of the list. I hope Hogwarts is light RPG like I have seen. I am intrigued what direction they take Alan Wake 2. I also have to shout out Starfield. I hope it's good. P.S. Ready for some BioShock news.
How dare you list more than 2 games? Come on.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good. I am also excited for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Of all of the things, it's the one I'm most excited for. I was the most excited for it last year. I'm a big superhero mark. I love every Rocksteady Arkham Batman game, and the thought of killing all of the Justice League excites me in ways that I cannot adequately explain.
I mean, why do you need to kill the Justice League if James Gunn has already done that?
Emotional damage.
Oh,
No, I think the rest of the DCEU has done a best job killing the
Killing
Justice
themselves.
League. Just, oh boy. We can watch a Zack Snyder 4-hour-long special that kills the Justice League. A speedrun any percent. Whoo boy. And then I would also probably throw it out to Alan Wake 2. Even though the first one is a terrible advertisement for Energizer batteries, I found myself really enjoying it. I even enjoyed American Nightmare and the other stuff that Remedy did. Max Payne 1 and 2, which I think are getting brought back for the modern consoles this next year as well.
it sounds familiar. I think that's
Yeah.
true.
That would also be something I'm very hyped for. But let's talk about actual new games and not me reliving my past, one video game at a time. But Alan Wake 2, it sounds like a bright idea. I hope it lights the path forward. A light in the darkness and other illuminating puns.
Can I ask a dangerous question?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Are either of you guys, do you even care about Starfield?
I'll play it. So here's the thing, right? There's like a few Bethesda games that they made. They had a string of just out and out classics, out and out bangers, right? So like Morrowind, classic. Oblivion, I have some faults with it, but classic. Skyrim, it starts to lose me a little. And then, Fallout 3 I love, but then Fallout 4 keeps getting more and more dumbed down. Not to sound like some great gatekeeping RPG purist, but most of the time I feel like their worlds are very big and expansive, but not a lot to do with them. Like in Fallout 4, I felt like, oh man, this is Boston, and it sure is empty and devoid of stuff. Like you could go wander around and enter in a random shop for literally no reason if you want, but there's nothing to do in that shop, as opposed to like Morrowind, which had a lot of things to do, and you could get wrapped up in a side quest that had nothing to do with anything and go off on a big jaunt and, had a lot more depth in the way that you could set up your combat and your leveling, as opposed to the bizarre system that they decided to do in Fallout 4 and replacing it with a bunch of systems that nobody ever cared about. Like, honestly, who even cares about creating a settlement in Fallout 4? I just
Thank
don't.
you.
I have
I'm with
never
you
met
on that
anyone
one.
that does. Why would I want to run a shanty town? And the moment I realized that I had to micromanage all of these people or they die, because they were like, oh, we're hungry. And I was like, okay, I planted some crops. And they're like, we're still hungry. And then I realized I had to assign them to pick the crops. And I was like, how did you survive in this apocalypse before I showed up? And it just felt like some job, and I just wanted to explore. So I can't really feel, for those reasons, I'm cautiously optimistic towards Starfield. I'm sure it will score phenomenally well, and a lot of people will really love it, and they'll talk about it, and they'll release it for every platform that ever will be for years and years and years.
Except PlayStation 5.
No, they might. I don't know. Like, it'll probably be in a smart fridge near you at some point in 2030. But it's hard for me to get excited about it when the last few, like Fallout 4, had just been sort of, and I'm even sort of about Skyrim, to be honest. It's good, but there's not a lot that I'm like, oh man, remember this in Skyrim? That was awesome. As opposed to Morrowind or even Oblivion and Fallout 4, which I could talk about for hours and hours. That was my long-winded explanation. Sorry. Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
I agree with a lot of what you said, actually, so I won't repeat all of that. I am a little concerned that Starfield is just going to be too big for its own good. I forget the number, but they're like 9,000 planets. How many of those 9,000 are going to be completely barren with absolutely no point in visiting them? But we can say we have 9,000 planets. So I am a
It'll
little
have a candle.
worried there. What?
Yeah, it'll have a candle and spoons and plates
Oh,
and
right.
nothing else, and
Right,
5 gold
exactly.
pieces.
I don't know. I am excited for them to try something different. I mean, from the gameplay we saw, it's pretty much Fallout in space, let's be honest. But, I mean, if it is Fallout in space, I'm okay with that. As long as it's like Fallout New Vegas in space and not Fallout 4 in space.
And I'll ask the dangerous question, because nobody's brought it up. Is anyone excited about Harry Potter? Or the Hogwarts Legacy?
I mean,
Maybe?
apparently
Like,
Jabrack
I need to
is.
see it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but any of y'all. I know there's people here that are, but
All right,
I'm
I'm
not
a Harry
Potter
Potter stan.
guy.
I'm a big
I
Harry Potter stan.
read a very eye-opening stance on it that I won't go into on the podcast, but it was basically boycott this game because it brings to light, and the whole premise of the game is some very sensitive political issues and discrimination. And yeah, look it up if you're interested. Just the general premise of the game. It's kind of not good when you just spell it out like that.
Well, I like the shooty and the magicy. I really like the Harry Potter series. So, but I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to this, but I am cautiously optimistic that it'll be a thing to play, and won't be horrible. But I don't really trust any of these huge MMOs to just get it right away. And I feel like this is an MMO or MMO-ish. So I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe they'll get it right. I'm not crazy excited for it, but I hope that it does well and that it gives me a reason to play it.
Yeah, I don't know. Harry Potter just seems like one of those universes like Lord of the Rings, where like there's several people that are worth following and the rest are just kind of like there. Like, you know what I mean? Like when they make stuff in Lord of the Rings where you don't play as any of the main people in Lord of the Rings, it's just sort of like, do you care? And I don't know. There's just some of that, I think. I think they're smart, though, setting it way in the past. At least my understanding is that it's way in the past.
Yeah, I think it's pre-events.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to be a Slytherin because I find that the idea of being a dark wizard and they just allow you to train up and be an evil wizard is sort of exciting.
Were Slytherin evil 1,000 years ago, though?
I don't know.
I mean, they're not really like
They were
evil
always-
now either, but
I would say so.
well, I mean,
Who
they
all
have
sided
some
with Voldemort?
bad noodles in their house, but
They seek power and and advancement. That's kind of their thing. So
They have a snake,
evil, no.
a literal one.
I don't know.
That's in the. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you had a whole house devoted to people that could potentially become evil,
it would be that
wouldn't
one.
train
All right,
them
I'll give you
magic.
that one.
They don't talk about evil Hufflepuffs. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, they don't talk about Hufflepuffs at all, but none of them are evil.
Too busy reading books. To answer my own question about Starfield, I'm not excited at all. But like I said, I'm not going to yuck other people's yums. If you're happy for it, awesome. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that it's apparently a big get for a lot of people for Xbox, and that's cool. I probably won't start it, but I'd love to hear that other people are having a good time with it. That's all I've got to say.
In fact, Retstack said at podcast field, but admits that I'm a sucker for Bethesda warts, bugs, and all. So, outside of our little trifecta here, other people are indeed excited for it.
Hogwarts bugs and all.
I mean, Hogwarts, it's like an old castle. There'll probably be like literal bugs. Are we going to have bugs in space? In field, maybe, but on the star, I don't know. Anyway, you know where there are a lot of bugs? Scotland. So Chewie said, I'm really out of the loop on what's coming up, and I usually play games a few years late, but a quick googly has yielded these ones that I'd definitely be interested in trying. The Dead Space remake, hoping it turns out actually interesting. I read that wrong. Hoping it turns out more actually interesting. That's a weird sentence, Chewie. Then the trailers make it seem. And Atomic Heart. And I am so glad that he mentioned Atomic Heart because I was going to mention Atomic Heart. And are you guys familiar with Atomic Heart?
Yes.
No.
I don't normally like first-person shooters, but that thing caught my attention, and it looks very cool.
I am right there with you. I don't play a ton of first-person shooters, but certain ones, I'm trying to not say exactly what you just said, but yeah, certain ones tend to catch my eye, and that one definitely did that. It looks sort of like high-speed action like Doom, like actual Doom, foof. It's just sort of very gory, violent, over-the-top, fast-paced, cool setting looking, cool guns looking, and the myth, the man, the legend, Mick Gordon is doing the soundtrack. So that seems to be another pay $60 for a soundtrack and get a free game with it, which I am all about. And it's coming to Game Pass. So, like, that's just like 7 wins out of 7.
In the trailer, they have this, or in the footage that they're showing, the gameplay footage, there's a boss fight with this big kind of round boss, kind of like the Incredibles. There's that robot that's just a huge sphere.
He just made this game sound adorable.
You're trying
now.
to fight this thing. Well, it's adorably deadly, and so just trying to take that thing out with the weapons you have. It looks like just nothing works until they finally kind of show you how the cracks in the armor. I'm not gonna. Don't want to give Fufu stuff to edit. So you can see the ways that you have to attack it start to kind of make themselves known through that fight, and I'm excited because that's the one they're showing you. And the idea is hopefully they're cooler boss fights that just blow your mind and just have all these other different things that they haven't shown yet. So it looks cool.
I actually hadn't thought of it like that. You're right. If that is the showcase piece, they're not gonna show their whole hand right in the first trailer. So. You are absolutely spot on with that assessment.
You'd hope.
Yeah, you hope anyway, right? Unless it's like a DC movie where they show you every bit of humor in the trailer, and then you don't need to go see the rest of it.
There is no humor. Ah. It's all defeat. I watched Batman v Superman.
Oh. Chewie also, I got a little sidetracked by fanboying over Mick Gordon and Atomic Heart. But he also said the Fallen Order sequel, and Deliver Us Mars, and Lifeless Moon, and Alan Wake 2. And then he's apparently more interested in upcoming games than he thought he was. And then
I want to just take the time to thank Chewie for responding on Life Day.
Took time away from his pod.
Yeah, away from Lumpy and that B. Arthur cooking show. Those who know.
I was going to say, is this like some weird Scottish thing that I am unfamiliar with? Is it Boxing Day?
No, it's no.
I'm so
the Star Wars
so
holiday special.
All right, we can leave it at that. My answer to the question is Tales of Symphonia Remaster, which I have mentioned a couple times on Discord on various things that I am super excited for. Tales of Symphonia was my first Tales of game back on GameCube in 2003. And I distinctly remember the story being super dark, and I feel like having played more Tales games that are known for their very mature themed stories, that there's probably like a lot of more subtle, sinister undertones that I did not pick up on when I was 13. So I'm just excited to experience the story, and the gameplay is a blast, and the characters are a blast, and everything is well written, and the world is great, and I really like the game, and I'm excited, and I could just go on all day about it, honestly, but I will spare you guys the details, and I will just say that I have PVC figurines of the cast of Tales of Symphonia from the original 2003 pressing that are now suddenly super cool and relevant again.
So as someone who sounds like a novice to the Tales series, could you tell us how it differs from like a Chrono Trigger or a Final Fantasy in terms of like the RPG-ness and systems and stuff?
Yeah, okay, so
is there a big difference?
Yeah, the what's the word I'm looking for? I forget what they call it. But the thing is, they are real-time battles, so think of it plays like an RPG, and it has all the RPG tropes, but then the fighting system, or the combat system, I guess, is more like a fighting game. So there's combos, there's special moves. You have your basic attack button, but then you have your almost like Smash Bros, where you got your B up, your B down, left and right, and you can link it all together. And if you know what you're doing, you can get some pretty crazy combos. But the combat plays more like you would expect from a fighting game than a typical action RPG, and that's sort of the big appeal of the Tales franchise overall.
Interesting.
Now that sold it.
Yeah. I might check that out now. That's actually interesting. So
Okay, no, honestly, I feel like I've talked about a bunch of Tales, but I don't think I ever did really mention the combat system. Vesperia is on, well, Vesperia Remastered is on Xbox One. Um, has the same thing. It's a little more refined is the word I'm looking for. I need a drink. This is how I talk when I don't have scotch in me. Interesting. But it's the same sort of 3D fighting game sort of thing. And then they changed it up a little bit with the newest one, Tales of Arise, where they made it kind of Souls inspired, but it's not Dark Souls. It's that one's, I don't know. The game was still a blast, but that one's just more classic, typical action RPG. But the old school Tales, again, really the only way I can describe it is think of a JRPG and Tekken had a baby.
Well, all right.
And actually, it's kind of cool. All the fights you can play local multiplayer, so it's technically like a single player RPG. But then every fight you can play with up to 4 people controlling individual party members. If you're playing solo, obviously
Like
the AI takes over the other 3.
Like Secret of Mana?
Back on Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the right one? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the overworld map, only one person can do anything. But then, yeah, once you get into combat, the other people can control their characters. It's pretty cool.
Huh.
Well, all right. Anyone else? I think we're ready to move on, but thank you, patrons, for your responses. If you want to join in on any future questions that we have, you can join our Patreon. We do ask questions dang near every week, sometimes before Tuesday. But on that note, we'll move it on to the game showcase. Anyone play anything really neat?
I mean, I'll start off, even
X,
though I
take it
was
away.
just talking. Yeah, so I was fully prepared to come into this show 3 hours before recording to talk about Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. So my brother and I, we went through all the Halos except Infinite. We're taking a little Halo break. I've talked about that. So we went and did Borderlands 2, wrapped that up, and now we dived into Borderlands 3, and we're playing that periodically. I hate Borderlands solo, but it is a lot of fun in co-op, so, whatever. But I'm not going to talk about Borderlands, because at about 7 o'clock, Kelsey was like, hey, we should start a new game. So we looked, what's on Game Pass, what's co-op, and we found Spacelines from the Far Out. And, well, if you want sort of overcooked, or think of the children in space, this is the game for you. So it's not a new game, so I'm not going to go, from the bottom up, but like it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you have not played it and you are looking for a nice overcooked sort of local party experience. It's gonna scratch that itch basically. Trying to think of like how else to describe it other than overcooked in space. I see from my friends list that neither of you have played it, which is very disappointing, honestly.
I've looked at it, and I was, when I saw it, I thought, okay, is this moving out in space? Because if it
Moving
is,
out, how did I not
then
think of that? Yeah, it's that, it scratches that same itch too.
well, that's an itch I definitely want to scratch.
It's we went through the tutorial, and then it might as well be the tutorial, the first sort of planet, but the whole premise is you own a spaceship, or you you captain a spaceship, I guess. You don't own it. And you're just transporting guests from A to B. But while you're transporting them, they're going to get hungry, so you'll have to cook them food. They're going to have to use the bathroom. So if your ship has a bathroom, great. If your ship doesn't have a bathroom, you have to find a porta potty in space and take them there. Otherwise, they piss themselves and they get really grumpy and leave you a negative review. Um, if enough people do that, it will smell, so they'll puke in your ship, and then the health inspector comes on board, and you have to distract him with dancing. And then all this while, people want some in-flight entertainment, so you have to, entertain them and dance for them, all while running around and not steering into asteroids, which Kelsey is really good at steering into asteroids. And there's like 7 or 8 things going on that you need to manage, but you can only power like 6 of them at a time. So, I unplugged my stove to power the bathroom, but now someone wants food, so I'm going to take power away from the steering wheel to plug in the grill. But now this guy's done in the bathroom, so I can take that power and reroute it back to the steering wheel. And it's just a lot of, I guess, micromanaging is the term, just like you would expect in Overcooked. But it's sort of the feel free to do whatever you want. There's no prescribed order that you would get in moving out. And it's
Question.
a blast, yeah.
It's listed as a roguelite on TA. Is that just TA being TA, or are there roguelite aspects?
Well,
you hate those.
Yeah, it's I know exactly why they did it like that, and I would sort of disagree. Just say, oh yeah, it's a roguelite. But I guess definition-wise, it would make sense. So, like I said, we did the tutorial, and then what might as well have been the extended tutorial, and made it to the first real objective, which is to get not from A to B, but from A to Z. And you have to stop at a little space station every letter along the way. And every time you load up, it's a different map. So it's like the core gameplay is going to be the same, but like I'm going to play level 1, and I'm going to have 4 passengers, and 2 of them are going to be hungry, and 1 of them is going to be bored, and 1 of them will need the bathroom. And then, Koosh, you're going to play level 1, and you're going to have 5 passengers, 2 of them will do nothing, and then 3 of them are bored, or something like that. So it's not the exact identical thing every time, but it's not roguelite in the sense that you build progression as you go through. It's just every playthrough will be unique, but it's the same.
You're not going to level up skills that'll carry over into your future plays. It's just every run is random.
There we go. Yeah, to the point that even you can explode your spaceship if you drive into asteroids, like my lovely wife does, and then you start over on the same A to Z, but the map is different. So don't drive into the asteroids. You can survive one, and then you're dead on the second, and then your robot boss gets all mad at you, and then he takes all your money, and then you have to change your company name and logo so that people don't know you're the company that blew up and killed passengers.
That's kind of funny.
It's just silly, whimsy, good party game. It is online, co-op, and local co-op. Unfortunately, if you are doing local co-op, only the host gets achievements. But if you are doing online, all up to 4 can earn the achievements.
Okay. I'm looking at the achievements for this, and these seem really high ratio for what they appear to be, or like for what they appear to be. They seem like they're really high ratio. Is that just like a Game Pass bump, you reckon, or some of these? Like one of these is like clean a toilet or pile of puke 30 times, and that doesn't seem like it'd be that hard with just a good amount of neglect.
So like clean a pile of puke 30 times, you have to let someone piss themselves, and then you have to let another guest. You have to let another guest smell that, and then they will puke, and then you have to find a cleaning crew in space to clean your ship. So it's not hard to do necessarily. It's just a little out of the way, and one of those things that you'd have to sort of mess up intentionally or not to have done. I'm scrolling through the list too, and a lot of it does seem like typical Game Pass inflation. Like, here's one right here. Run out of gas 5 times for a 4.75 ratio. You could do that in under 10 minutes, actually. You could literally start up your ship, run out of gas.
Interesting.
And like one for exploding your ship 5 times, a 4.37.
Right, yeah.
Getting shut
find
down
some
by the health
asteroids.
inspector.
Oh, I forgot about
With
the
like
health
a
inspector.
369.
Yeah, if enough people start giving you negative reviews, basically, for sanitary purposes, the health inspector will show up, and then if he finds anything, he'll shut you down, and then it's game over. You start back at the beginning of your level stretch, your A to Z. Or if he's like doing something, like there's a pile of puke there, you can just start dancing and distract him while somebody cleans the puke.
I mean, look at that. It's 18,000 people have gotten the first achievement, and by the second achievement, you're down to 10,653.
The first achievement is just complete the tutorial,
Yeah.
which is 5 minutes into the game. Although it has a 1.03 ratio, so what the heck did people do first? Oh, I wonder if maybe if you join someone's game online, you can skip the tutorial. That could be.
Yeah, because you can complete your first route
without having done the tutorial. Yeah, so
yeah,
I would do the
it's got
tutorial.
3.0 out of 5.
It's less than 5 minutes. It gives you the run of the game. I'm actually surprised it only has a 3-star rating, because I don't know. I guess if you're playing it solo, it's going to be as dull and tedious as those other games solo. But with just the two of us, we're having a blast. Even though she drives into asteroids all the time.
If only we knew someone who liked to play multiplayer games.
I don't know. No one at all.
No one I can think of.
So
Spacelines.
Yeah, I was just going to say Spacelines from the Far Out. It is on Game Pass. It is on PC Game Pass. It has cloud gaming. It has touch controls as well. Anywhere that you could possibly play a video game, it is there for you to try out. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I got nothing but praise for it. Yeah.
All right.
What you got for us, Vulgar?
Thank you for that.
Yeah, man.
I played a bona fide classic. One that was talked about, if you remember back, all the way to level 157. We heard about Shenmue, and it was on my RTDL, and I decided I'd never played Shenmue 1. I played Shenmue 2, so I was going to give it a shot. Have any of you played Shenmue? Or know anything about Shenmue?
I know things about it, but I have not played it.
I know things about it, and at one point in time, it was on Dreamcast, I think.
Yes, it was the big flagship Dreamcast. Yeah. It was the most expensive video game ever made.
Okay.
At the time.
I feel like I played it at a friend's house, just because when they announced the remasters all those years ago, I'm like, oh, I think I know that one. But I don't claim to have played it, just I know things about it.
The job systems back in the day were like revolutionary and like, oh, I can do a job in a game. Fun.
There is so many things that are standing on the shoulders of giants when it comes to Shenmue. Like Shenmue is one of the giants that other things are standing on, but sometimes it's not best to go back. So Shenmue is the tale of 1986, Japanese man named Ryu. His dad is killed, and he is out to figure out why and track down the killer. He watches it happen in his own dojo. So as Ryu, you walk around, you get money from your mom, and you get to the business of collecting gachapon things. This is very important. You collect different gacha things, like Sonic and Tails, and Knuckles, the cast of Virtua Fighter, and you look at them and like, those are cool. And then you go and you ask people about what happened in the very stilted voice acting of the year 2000. And a lot of my fun I had was listening to the dialogue of Ryu. I was using a guide because I found the game to be very tedious. But you just kind of walk around and you ask people like, do you know where any sailors hang out? I'm looking for someone that speaks Mandarin Chinese. And then someone will give you a really goofy accent, like, I don't know anybody that does that. Thank you. And then you walk on. With a guide, this game's pretty easy to complete. I got about halfway through it. But it's great if you have other things to do, because with the guide, you can just, boom, I'm going to go here. I got to go here. Okay, now you got to wait till 7 o'clock. And time moves, not real time, thankfully, very thankfully. But, it takes about an hour for a whole day from like 8 to, 11. And I just had the great time. Like, okay, you got to wait to get into the biker bar. Biker bar, what you need to do opens at 7. And it's just Ryu standing in the rain, waiting for a biker bar to open. And I just got a good giggle out of that. But you also have to keep in mind when you're playing this that it's made, other things have taken this and built and done something with it. And you could go and do things like explore and buy a soda or buy some milk, get a job working at the docks.
Is that the infamous forklift?
Yes.
Okay.
That's actually a story beat. I am spoiling your story of the forklift.
Sorry, I'll take the blame for this one.
Yep. And because you have to save up enough money towards the end. It's very dated, would be how I'd put it, charitably. And then you have a lot of QuickTime events, which were, I believe at the time, fairly new. QuickTime events in the year 2000 were not something that just happened like that. Like you get one where like there's kids playing soccer and then it's like, think fast. Otherwise you just get hit in the head with a soccer ball. And then occasionally you'll get into fights, and it actually has a very interesting fighting system that you can practice kung fu at the dojo. That's one of the things you could do to practice the time. You can buy scrolls at a pawn shop, learn your kung fu, wander into people. You can play Hang On or, what's that?
Space Harrier.
Space Harrier, thank you. You can play that. That's one of the achievements at an arcade. Like this, which again, at the time, very groundbreaking, very big.
You put a game in my game.
Yeah, whoa. And like all this voice acting, and you can talk to anybody. Like you can, basically, if they're not like driving or whatever, you can walk up and have a conversation. It'll go nowhere, but you can do that, which is weird, and the controls are a little stiff and things like that. But like, it's a game that I'm glad I played, but because there's so many things, like especially looking back, that are built off of what Shenmue was doing, but I don't know if I can necessarily recommend it to anybody from a perspective of, hey, I would like to play a new game. I'm 15 and I've never played a game before. What should I play? With my brand new Xbox Series X. I don't know if I can recommend that to anybody. But I will play. I plan on completing it. It looks like it's about a 15-hour game. A lot of that was spent, if you're following the guide, waiting in the rain next to a convenience store for a tattoo artist to show up, which is kind of fun.
I feel like...
most expensive video game ever made.
I feel like you just made Elle really sad by saying, I'm not going to recommend it because it's dated. And I agree with you 100%. Like, games have been innovated so much that sometimes the old ones are hard to go back to. It doesn't have to be that old. Like, early 360 games are hard to go back to, just control gameplay-wise. Yeah. So I think it's a valid point. Like, hey, it's a good game by 2000 standards, but everyone who played it originally, they're gonna look at it differently. You know, a modern audience versus, that nostalgic point of view. So I think that's a valid point, and I like that you said it like that.
I mean, I can't recommend it with the breadth and width of games that you can play in this genre, especially like open world. This is very early open world video gaming. This is, again, 2000, not a lot of things had been doing this in the Dreamcast era, where you could just have a city that you could wander around and go stop in a convenience store and just buy stuff. But, like, if you don't play this kind of stuff, like, if you aren't interested in the history and you just want to play something, I think you're going to find that the control's really stiff, the voice acting's really awkward, the story's just kind of there, and, oh man, the voice acting. And this is coming from, like, again, I grew up with this sort of stuff. I have an appreciation. I'm enjoying it. But I have to admit, you know, and there's old games that are on the Xbox. Like, you want to play an old game, like the Mega Man collection's right there. Those games are great. Still hold up. Still amazing. But I can't wholeheartedly recommend Shenmue. If you'd like an education, if you'd like to experience something from the past, and see what things were like in the year 2000, then yeah, sure, go for it. But yeah, also I think Shenmue 3 is already out. It took them years and years and years, because then there's like Shenmue, and then Shenmue 2 was like short time later. That was on OG Xbox. It was an exclusive for that. I played that one, and then Shenmue 3 was way down the road. We'll never figure out what happened to that dude's dad.
Isn't Shenmue 3 a PlayStation exclusive?
I believe so.
What a weird journey. Dreamcast exclusive, Xbox exclusive, PlayStation exclusive. It's almost like they just go to the highest bidder.
PS4, and it is on Windows. So you can play it on Windows. Right. If you would like, it's a big Kickstarter exclusive. Or Kickstarter-backed thing. Looks like, yeah. But if you want that, it's totally there. And yeah, you can buy it in a pack. There's also a collection. You would be shocked to know that I did not play the collection on Windows. I actually owned the Xbox version first, so I did not do the Windows collection. But at some time I will, for those sweet, sweet collection points.
I was actually going to ask if you are enjoying it enough to hop right into Shenmue 2, or are you going to wait it out a little bit?
Seeing that I've already done Shenmue 2, probably not. I did it when I played that as a, like, on release, like, because of the hype of Shenmue, and I just like seeking out weird and different sort of things in video games. But yeah, it's very cheap. I believe it was on sale recently. You can get it for $5, both of them for $5. I paid full price for them. I bought them before they even came to Game Pass. I owned them for their historic value, and then me being me, just got around to them, timely, very timely, several years after they released.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better,
listening now.
I also bought them the first time they went on sale. It's a bundle of both of them for $30. I probably got them for $24, and then they went on Game Pass, and now they're not on Game Pass, and now they're on sale for $6, and I still haven't played them.
Yeah, if you're listening now, the PC version, which is 1 and 2, which is 2,000 gamer score, even though it's one game, technically, it's $6, and you have 3 days from the time this airs. If you're listening on the first day to pick it up for $6.
I'm going to buy that now.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize. Yeah, it's 2 separate games on Xbox, 1,000 points each. Yeah. You buy them as a bundle. Yeah, you cannot buy them separately, but then you get 2 separate games. But it is one purchase combined on Windows with 2K Gamer Score.
If your PC can handle it. If your PC can handle it.
Yeah, if your PC can handle the raw graphical power that the Sega Dreamcast could spit out.
QuickTime events.
I gotta tell you, just as an aside, the Dreamcast was sick. I had a Dreamcast. It had a bunch of great games, a lot of weird ideas. Cannot say enough good things about the Dreamcast, the little console that didn't.
Yep.
Echo the Dolphin.
That was my buddy talked me into buying one of those about a month or two before they announced they weren't going to make them anymore.
I bought them after they were discontinued. I bought one for $60. And a whole bunch of games, because they were just like giving them away. Like, here, kid, have Jet Grind Radio. And Jet Grind Radio is great.
That was the bomb. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that soundtrack. Whew, play it for the soundtrack alone. Yeah, and I had Crazy Taxi and had a game called Silver that I really liked. I had Ready to Rumble Boxing. Whew. Dreamcast was great. Oh, one of the 2K basketball games that had Allen Iverson on the front. They made some good stuff back in the day. Me and old Sega. Weirdly, never played Sonic Adventure until it came to Xbox. Nor did I play Sonic Adventure 2. Nor did I play Shenmue.
What about
Or Space Channel 5.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the pinnacle of Dreamcast?
No, never had that one either. But Jet Grind Radio, though. So, yeah, that was Shenmue, though. It's a trip. I can't guarantee it's one you want to go on. But for those of you who are interested in diving into the video games past, you might find something there. I think it's overall a good historical note, but
I have to say one thing to keep Matriarch from screaming right now, and that's Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver was also on the Dreamcast and amazing.
I never had that.
Yes.
I was limited to what I could find, in small town Nebraska, and this is before you could really just buy things. Well, at least we could. And, the internet didn't really come to us until way later on. We heard they had internet out in California that way. We had to just stick with what was at the Walmart in Hiawatha, Kansas, and some of those just didn't make the cut. But Koosh, what have you been playing? Anything? Are you burning to talk about?
Oh, I am. Let me tell you. So, shocking no one, once again, I played a Game Pass game that was leaving Game Pass, and that is Embr. And if you're listening, like I said, on release date, you have 2 days to complete this, and it's doable because it only takes 20-25 hours. So what is Embr? Embr is an action game on Game Pass. It is play anywhere. It's optimized for X and S, and it's got crossplay. I didn't do any of that stuff. I played it on my Xbox. It's also playable on Windows, hence the crossplay, the Xbox Play Anywhere. And what you are doing is you are a firefighter. And you start out with a water gun and an axe. I think those are the two things you start out with.
Trampoline.
Yeah, trampoline? Yeah, could be the trampoline as well. The very first achievement you're going to get is for completing the tutorial. No, I think they actually lock you out from everything until you do the tutorial. Because we tried to do some online play, and people had to finish that. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do that. It just teaches you the basics. Fire burns, ouch. If you spray water onto floors with open wires, you're going to get electrocuted. It's a very cartoony style, and it's kind of a cross between like a first-person shooter-ish, because you are in that mode, and you're hacking apart boxes and you're spraying water. So you kind of got your first-person shooter there, but also mixed with a little bit of human fall flat. There's just some weird physics. There's some goofiness, and some things just don't work well. So when I first played this, when it came out, I played it on the cloud, and I thought, okay, what have I done? And then I never went back to it. I got that first achievement. I just never went back to it. That was January.
Oh, I can see that.
This year.
January 17th.
Got the first
and then your next achievement, December 19th.
Yes. Then almost a full year later, I picked it back up because it was leaving Game Pass, and foolishly talked Mattism and What the Fuck into doing the same thing. So we all jumped in, and it ended up being a lot of fun. We played this in multiplayer, and just kind of jumped in together. And the good strategy for that, if this game ever goes on sale, let me just start out and say, if it ever goes on sale for like $5 and you've got a crew that you regularly play games with, I would pick it up for $5 for everybody. But yeah, we got together and we just started knocking things out. And you can very quickly earn a bunch of money and get the good equipment. Every piece of equipment that you have, you can upgrade. There's 3 types of currency. There are ways to farm the more rare currencies like gold coins and diamonds. And there's a really good way to do that. And if you have 3 people, it goes really fast, because what you'll do is you'll play a particular game mode. It's called Demolition. You'll start the very first house in the game, and you'll assign one person to go to one area, one person to go to another area, and the third person to go to a third area. And one of those has a chance of having gold or a diamond. And if you complete that mission, every 3 times you complete a mission successfully, there will be a gold randomly in one of those locations. Every 7 times you've completed a mission successfully, there'll be a diamond. If you get to that magic number of 21 successful missions, you will have a gold and a diamond on the same mission. And that's your sweet spot. So you'll want to get to that point, and then you're going to want to fail that mission until you have enough of the special currency. And so you'll collect the gold, you'll collect the diamonds, you'll put them in the back of your truck. You'll then fail the mission, choose to abandon it. Those will now go in your inventory, and you just keep doing that. With 3 people, it goes very quickly, because one person goes and says, I have nothing to do, and the other 2 people basically load up the truck. So we did that. We got a lot of the currency that way. We also found, thanks to TA, a quick way to just farm money. So we did that. Those are things, the money you can do solo, and it's probably faster to do that solo. The rest of the game, you have to complete every level to a 5-star rating. And what that requires you to do is to save everybody that's in the building. And that's where the fun comes in, because mistakes happen and clients die.
I like that you're laughing while saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just remembering. I shall not name names, and Mattison will thank me for that. And what someone would do is they would put a parachute on a person and then try to launch them off a building, or at least that's what they'd tell us, is that they put a parachute on a client and they threw the client off the building, and then they would just plummet to their death because the parachute didn't work, or he didn't actually put the parachute on them. And then you have to restart the mission, because we're only there to get a 5-star. And then you have other times when you go into a room to collect something and one of your friends sneaks up behind you and smashes an explosive barrel and you die. And that's fun too. So there's all kinds of ways to have fun, including turning on the electricity when one of your friends is on an electric grid. That's kind of fun to do too. And yeah, this game is just a blast to play late at night with a couple people and just blow through these levels. I'm not seeing a whole lot here that's difficult. The enemies are Canadian, so that's funny.
Hey,
Hoser.
Yeah, Hoser. And he's throwing maple. The very first boss fight is in a maple syrup factory, and he's throwing flaming boxes at you, and you have to throw them back or electrocute them. It's just a fun game. I would not recommend it at the current price. Of $20. That's a bit steep, especially if you're going to solo grind it, because if you didn't have the knowledge of how to do the special currency or to do this really quick money grind, you would take forever. It really would just take forever to grind up to that point. So I can't recommend it as a single player game, but like I said, if you have a crew of people that like to get together and play stuff, and this game goes on sale for like $5 or whatever, I think this is a good time for a small group. You could have 4 people in a party, I believe. But if you do that, a lot of the 5-star missions and stuff like that, you're going to have 1 or 2 people who are just not doing as much, and it might not be as much, might not be as engaging for them. But yeah, Embr was a fun time. We slammed it out. We all got it done in a period of about, let's see, how many days did we do that? It's like 5 days, 6 days, something like that of just playing. A couple nights we took off, but we got together for a couple hours a night and knocked it out. Looks like I put 26 and a half hours into it. Some of that was watching TV and just doing a little bit of stuff here or there. But yeah, Embr, another great game that I didn't really get into until I was prompted because it's leaving Game Pass at the end of the month.
That seems to be a thing lately.
You didn't even mention my favorite part, which is that the premise is that you're like Uber for firefighting.
Yes, yeah. I should have said every map has multiple game modes. One is get the clients out, stop the fire. Number 2 is destroy the house, make things burn. Then there's like an Uber Eats or an Embr Eats, sorry, where you have to break in and put out fires and things like that and get to the customers, but each one wants something different. So like this guy wants a soda, so you're going to take a soda from the front of the house, find them. You have a little viewfinder that will allow you to look through the house to see where people are. And in the Embr Eats mode, you'll see who wants what, so you know what to take to them. You can only carry one thing at a time. If you spend money, you can carry something and use your axe, but initially you can only carry the thing. You have to set it down to use your axe. So, and there are other game modes too, like salvage. So you'll go into a building and just throw stuff out the window, and everything that doesn't catch on fire, you get credit for. But yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had there. So I definitely would recommend it at a lower price with a group.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a sale. I unfortunately missed out on this one, but I did really enjoy what I played, even though I played it solo. I found that the theme just hit for me. So, yeah, Embers looks like a good time when that goes on sale, which might be soonish. Who knows? Speaking of sales... sorry, you good, Koosh? I don't want to.
Well, yeah, they'll probably throw DLC on it next week. So
title
there we
update.
Go. The Game Pass way
for your boyfriend dungeoning. Speaking of sales, do we have anybody want to talk about the sales that went on the last sale of the year of our Lord 2022?
Ooh, it is the last sale of the year. I scrolled through and none of the titles caught my interest. But then I looked at the percentages, and I saw Phantom Doctrine for 85% off. I had never heard of it before, couldn't have told you anything about it, but 85% off, $6 down from $40, got me to click on it, and turns out it is a turn-based strategy RPG set during the Cold War, in the style like an XCOM game, basically, with a focus on stealth tactics, killing some commies, CIA versus KGB. Gameplay, it's just a typical, top-down, isometric view, turn-based strategy, but the setting seems awesome, and it has never been on sale for, actually, it almost never goes on sale, and it's never been on sale for $6, so I've spent $6 far worse. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that one up just to kill some KGB agents. What's nothing wrong with that. It does. I'm not gonna finish it though. The estimates are all over the place on TA, ranging from 40 to 50 to 120 to 150. How long to beat says the campaign is about 30 hours, but the completionist is 100 plus. So definitely a long haul. But I feel like that's to be expected from any of those XCOM-like games. They are all quite long completions. But it looks like in the 30-hour campaign, that will get you most of the achievements and, if I mathed right, about 650 gamer score. So not too bad. But yeah, that's Phantom Doctrine. I'll definitely be picking that up for $6. I have an anti-sale, if I may. So Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus has been on sale for $9.09. It is currently on sale for $10.39. That is an extra $1.30, my friends. That is unacceptable. Do not buy it on this sale. Wait for it to go cheaper.
That's a whole McChicken, kind of,
That
depending on your sales tax.
Is a McChicken still $1? I thought they were $2 now.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, it's true. You work from home. You don't have a rough day and stop at McDonald's on your way home.
I stopped drinking, so I stopped the need to pick up a McChicken at 2 a.m., which is the only time to have a McChicken. Am I right?
One of the best times, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't taste like regret when you're hammered.
Well, now I kind of want to make chicken now.
Well, you could save it with the money that you didn't spend on Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Martin.
There we go.
There you go.
Koosh, what about you?
Well, I want to talk about Bloons TD5. That's Tower Defense 5. It's $7.50 down from $15. This is a tower defense game. It's the first time it's ever been on sale, which is fantastic. It's 120 to 150 hours. So if you're one of those people that needs to finish your games, walk away. it takes a long time. But these games are fun. I'm currently chipping away very slowly, just every night, doing a little bit of something here or there. Sometimes I'll forget a week or two on Bloons TD6, which is cross-play. I don't think Bloons TD5 is. I think it's only on Xbox.
5 is only on Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, that is only on Xbox. So you're going to be landlocked when you're playing that. So if that sounds interesting, check it out. It's a fun game, and I like it. Next up, Everreach Project Eden is $3.74, down from $25. Once again, just like UX, I was looking at percentages, and that's a pretty good percentage. This is a third-person shooter. It's estimated at 5 to 6 hours. There's only 10 achievements, which is normally a red flag. And there's one multiple conversation-based missable achievement. However, TA, the solution on TA will kind of guide you through what you can say to get it on your first playthrough. It doesn't look bad. It's not going to knock your socks off. But for $3.74, a third-person shooter, which is probably my favorite kind of shooter, I'm picking this one up. And I'll regret it. Maybe have a McChicken sandwich later. I don't know. And finally, just a public service announcement: the recharged games are all almost 50% off. That's Missile Command, Yars, Gravitar, Breakout, Asteroids, Black Widow, Centipede. And just to clear the air, this is not a collection. These are individual games, all worth 1,000 gamer score. And they are updated versions of the classic games. The Missile Command plays really well. That's the first one I picked up. I'm probably going to pick up Black Widow. Just because, I really like that kind of twin stick shooter. Looks like that's what that's going to be. And Gravitar looked pretty involved. I don't remember playing that originally. So I might pick both of those up. But if they ever put out a compilation or a sale on all of them, that would be the time to go. Obviously, after I bet all
of them individually.
Is when they'll do that.
Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
We appreciate your
Take
sacrifice.
one for the team.
I'm taking one for the team, and eventually, once I get there, you guys will get your package deal. So there you go.
All right.
I should mention the price. So 50% off, meaning $5 down from 10. One or two of those are like $7 or $8, but check them out.
I just want to point out that is Yars, Yars, and not Yaris.
Correct.
Not Yaris.
The game about the car that you didn't have.
Right,
yes.
yeah, not that one.
Yeah. I was looking at the sales, and nothing really spoke to me, but then I tried to see about stuff that had never been on sale before, and I found it. The piece of DLC that's going to change the way that you look at Dragon Ball FighterZ forever. The Girls Pack, 99 cents, down from $2. It's a stamped collection of 3 famous heroines from the Dragon Ball universe, Bulma and Android 18, but also Android 21. So if you're looking and you're playing Fighter Z and you're like, I need a sticker that I can use in the online lobby, but also maybe replay mode to express myself and also interact with other players, then you can for 99 cents.
That's a steal.
I just imagine there's someone somewhere that's been watching this like, I want that sticker pack, but I'm not buying it till it goes on sale.
That's less than the price of a McChicken.
I was going to say, they basically can buy a McChicken and this now.
Yeah, the stickers. Whoo. And then we don't have any games with gold news, but I will allow you to fill in the blanks with whatever is announced. It was really good. It was kind of meh. Oh, it was terrible. Just fill in with whatever fills in for you. Same with Game Pass news. We don't have any. We have the same games that are leaving Game Pass on the 31st, but as of the time of recording, nothing's coming in. But boy, they'll be really good.
Yay!
Or they'll be mid. Or they'll be terrible.
Oh,
Breaking my heart.
Will they be? I feel like
it's way too long.
I feel like the standard though, like the Girls Pack DLC, should be like, is it a better games with gold than that, or is it more disappointing than that? That should be our metric from now on.
Is it worth the McChicken? Yeah. How many McChickens is it?
Is it worth its weight in McChickens? Yeah.
Yeah. How many? That's our new McChicken weight of going through games.
Is that worth 15 McChickens? I don't know.
I don't know. Marvel Midnight Suns, that's at least 70 McChickens. Is that as much enjoyment as I'm going to get out of that game?
Well, do I have to do them all at once, or can I spread them out?
Well, since it's McDonald's, it's theoretically good forever.
That's true.
It never molts.
Put them on the shelf. You're good to go.
Yeah, it'll last an eternity, you and the McChicken. Speaking of games, you can count your McChickens on the 31st. That's going to be like, you have like a day or two. Mortal Realms, Vampire Wars, Tropico 6, Scarlet Nexus, Secret Neighbor. Don't do Secret Neighbor, it's terrible. Outer Wilds, Garogia, which is great cheese, The Pedestrian Embr, and Iron Harvest. So there you are with that. But I think for now we're reaching the point of time where we're going into some brag camp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. So in completions, I'm so sorry, has reached a new milestone, 100 completed games. Shadowless Edge, 450. Domain, that's a cool tag, 650. And Mental Knight 5 has 1,650 completed games.
In the streaks, Mental Knigget 5 has a 100-day win streak. So does Redemption Denied. Scaravese has a 400-day win streak. ASU Unknown has a 500-day win streak. Ben L72 has a 650-day win streak. Sniped by a Girl is on a 3350 win streak. Blue Thunder has a 3,500-day win streak. And then I kind of mixed it up because I can't do math. But Luke 17,000 is a 1-year win streak. Bastion Reader's on a 5-year win streak. Firehawk Delta is on a 10-year win streak. That's just the letter D. I'm weird and Dew's NATO. Big L is on a 10-year win streak. It's our time to praise you, buddy. We're really, really glad. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
You did it.
His kids aren't that old, right? His streak is older than his kids, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
That is true.
That is
one of his kids, I believe.
That's pretty cool, man. I just imagine, your wife's in labor, and you're probably on the Windows phone at that point. Just come on, just get one. Classic. Almost as classic as Gamer Score. So Mikey 710, 450,000. Scaravese, 600,000. Cerebral Assassin, but it's actually like Sir 3 Bra 1 Azizin. I'm just picking on you, I'm sorry. Also 600,000 Gamer Score. Bastion Reader, 700,000 Gamer Score. And Septic Earl, 1 million Gamer Score. Welcome to the club.
Nice. In leaderboards, Ace is now in the top 200 of the Canada Achievements 1 leaderboard. Alicia is now in the top 50 of the England Gamerscore leaderboard. Bastion Reader, who was just mentioned not too long ago, is in position 4 in the USA True Achievement Difference leaderboard for Windows shoot-'em-up games on a Thursday. Bastion Reader is also now in the top 10 of the Max Possible Completion Percentage leaderboard for Windows shoot-'em-up in general. By 571 is now in the top 5 of the Wisconsin Gamerscore leaderboard for music. Casual Exile, number 1 in the New Zealand TA ratio leaderboard. Chesnote in the top 100 of the England TA difference leaderboard for fighting. Dark Lord Davis is in the top 10 of the Kentucky Gamerscore leaderboard for arcade racing. Death Dealers is the top 10 Ohio Gamerscore leaderboard for management. Inferno 118 is now second in the Pennsylvania True Achievement leaderboard. Nothing after that. Second in the Pennsylvania True Achievement leaderboard.
No, that's pretty cool. Pennsylvania is like a weirdly competitive state. We got a lot of hot shots here. So good for you, Inferno.
Nice. Kawi Ninja Rider 7 is now in the top 20 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for simulation, the top 5 of the USA Gamerscore leaderboard for simulation, and the number 1 in the New York Gamerscore leaderboard for simulation. Legohead 1977, now in the top 50 of the England TA difference leaderboard. Lucas 1987, top 10 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for puzzle. Man, there's a lot of these. Matthew Who is now in the 3rd of the Ireland Gamerscore leaderboard for arcade racing. NBA Kirkland, top 50 of the TA difference leaderboard for collection. Watch out. Watch out. Northern Last, top 50 of the True Achievement leaderboard for point and click. Quick Don't Die is now second in the South Carolina True Achievement leaderboard for competitive ratio. That's kind of cool. Scaravese is now in the top 50 of the Pennsylvania Achievements 1 leaderboard for platformer. Did you know he was from PA?
I did not know that, actually. I just had my eyes lit up for probably the exact same time
Quaker
you did.
State represent.
Yeah, man.
And finally, Sir Polygon is now in the top 5 of the True Achievement leaderboard for On Rails. When we come to submissions in our Brag Camp channel, is it Brag Camp? I can't remember exactly. I guess Brag.
It is Brag Camp.
There you go. We got a channel for bragging, and if you tag Big L, he'll read stuff. He's not on the show this week. You may not have noticed. So I went through it. I perused. I saw some stuff that was cool. And yes, Septic Earl, as mentioned previously, hit 1 million, and it took him 15 years. He commented on that there. That's pretty cool. That's
He's just trying to get a better gamer score. His name's Septic Earl.
I wish I knew the theme music. Chesno tricked someone into being engaged with him. Woo. So good job. Must like dogs. Must love dogs. And I didn't write it in, but I'm going to talk about it. I completed Arise, a Simple Story this week. I talked about that once or twice previously when I started it, when I kept playing it. And let me just say that game is totally worth it. I had mentioned that What the Fug said, hey, this is a Koosh game. And then later he said, this is not, I don't know. It's not a great game. Well, I'm here to tell you, it is a good game. When it goes on sale, pick it up. It's a fun platformer. It's got a little bit of dust in the eye at the end of the story. I liked it. And I
you're just trying to get a rise out of people.
Yeah, that's me. And that's what we got. If you want to have your stuff read, go to the Brag Camp, tag Big L on a week where he's here, and he'll read it.
I just wanted Oh, sorry. I wanted to give like a quick PSA sort of thing. Anyone in the Discord is well aware, but TA had a huge influx of people signing up that have boosted pretty much everyone's ratio at this point. So if you are on TA but not regularly, or you don't check your own page, check your stuff. Everyone got a nice TA boost, TAD boost, ratio boost. I was actually thinking like a bunch of these leaderboards, like some of the more obscure ones, could have been bumped up just from all the new people signing up. So if you are into those stats but don't regularly check TA, give your page a look. I think you'll be quite pleased with what you see.
Yeah, I went up several percentage points doing nothing. Money for nothing and the chicks for free. It's great.
Absolutely.
It's the way I live my life. And on that bombshell, I think the panel part is over for the year 2022. And what a year it was. Mm-hmm. We are available to find on most of the social medias that you can think of, on Twitch at twitch.tv/AH101, where we will be doing a live show next Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Question mark.
And I think we're going to be drinking, well, at least Fufu and I will be drinking hot cocoa spiced with Old Bay.
Yeah, if you bring me on, I'll do it too. Why not? Yeah, we're on Twitter at Achievements101, Discord at discord.io/AH101. Sorry, discord.io/AH101. If you would like to support this madness, you can at Patreon at patreon.com/achievementhunting101. And you can also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/achievementhunting101. And that is level 231. Happy New Year, everybody. May your year 2023 be a blessed one and have many, many good things.
And of course, the last word of the panel of 2022. Top 3 figurines in my game room. Number 3, Beautiful Joe. Number 2, Gardevoir. And number 1, the entire Tales of Vesperia cast and the Tales of Symphonia main cast.
Is that not 4?
Well, I lumped them.
That sounds like
I lumped them together.
I'm going to say that's okay.
All right.
Knowing me.
I'll allow it. All right. Be good people, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hello and welcome to One For You, One For Me, the show where I find people and we pick games to play with one another. I don't know, I'm still workshopping the intro. With me this time is WildWest 08. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. It's currently a Friday. So
it is. Best day of the week.
I'm a Saturday stan, but Friday's pretty close. Saturdays, you don't get to do anything all day, and the next days you don't have to do anything traditionally.
That's true. That's true.
So, but yeah, so the way that this show works is the first episode is that we've picked a game. So I've picked a game for Wild West. He's picked a game for me. And then actually we're going to stop recording. But for you guys, it'll be almost instantaneously. We're going to talk about the games that we picked. But for right now, we're going to talk about what game we picked, why we picked it for the other. And then we'll talk about the experience afterwards. Sound good? Sounds good. Do you want to start it off and say what you picked out for me?
Sure. So I looked through some of your games and we kind of workshopped a little bit just to make sure we would choose a good game for each other. And I landed on Doom Eternal for you.
Nice.
I saw that you had rated the original Doom and Doom 2 5 stars on TA. So I figured you'd like the series, and you had finished, I think, most of the reimagined version, or however you want to call it, for
2016
2016 version. Yep. And so you finished most of that, and figured you liked the series enough, and got the multiplayer achievements done for the new one. And so I figured, why not get going with the story and see what you feel like for that.
Yeah, it is one that I actually bought the day that it was released, and
Really?
I bought it, and I was real excited about it, and then I never played it.
Well, it sounds like this is a perfect game for you then.
It's a perfect opportunity for me. Yeah, I'm a big Doom fan, so it is. It'll be interesting to see what I think about Eternal. So I picked for you. Seeing everything that you said and the games that you like to play, getting a general sense of everything, and then I picked Tunic because it's a Game Pass game.
Yeah.
I had played it. I really liked it. I thought it was a nice little game, not too long, though you could dive really deep into it if you want. And I just want someone to talk to about Tunic, so we can have a nice, intelligent conversation about that when we get to the end of it. Because by the time I had beaten it, everyone was just like, "Yeah, we did it like months ago. Where were you?"
Yeah, I think Koosh kind of took the lead on all of that with Tunic, and so by the time you get around to it, you're just like, okay, well now I can't talk to anybody about it, and I want to.
Yes, and so that's got to be you. I think you'll like it I was not as positive as other people, but I'm interested to see what other people think, and I think it'll be a fun later part of this episode to talk about it.
Yes, same for you. I enjoyed that 2016 version of Doom, and I've been meaning to get to it. It's on Game Pass. It was an easy choice as well because you don't have to go out and buy anything, and so I'm excited to see what you think about it. So hopefully it'll motivate me to start it as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got that, and I actually also own the DLC pack for that, so I will see if I can't add that on. So, yep, through the magic of editing, we'll be back almost right. All right, it's time's passed.
Wow, did we just inject a full game into our minds?
Yeah, I blinked, and then was it Tank or Dozer? They just uploaded the whole thing in there. And
Whoosh, whoop. Oh man, I just played a whole game.
Yeah, and I know Kung Fu now too.
There you go.
So how was Tunic?
So I am curious to know why you chose this for me. I was not a big Zelda fan growing up. My wife was, but I was not.
I don't know. I figured that Tunic was one that was unique. It was different. I felt like it was one that I enjoyed with caveats, and I wanted to talk to somebody about, and I just forcing you to play it. And I mean, it seemed in the same vibe of things that you played. I thought that it was overall pretty good. Just, it was a pretty good game. Wasn't overly long, and it is interesting. And I think it'd be it's better if something's interesting.
Yeah.
Than anything else.
So it is. It was an interesting game. It's not one. It was one that when there's a ton of news articles coming out on it. It was one guy made it, right? I think.
Yep.
Or two.
Yeah, it was one guy. I think someone else might have done like the music.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's for one guy making it. It's amazing how much thought and all that he must have spent years building it, because it's you could tell there was love and a lot of hard work put into it. I mean, it's definitely a throwback to the 80 games of Zelda and those ones where they kind of just, I mean, you plop into an area, you start out as a fox and they're just like, okay, go have fun. There's not even English in it. I mean, it's like got that gibberish language.
Yeah, not at first.
Yeah.
It's
And so, I did start playing it without any accessibility. And then I was just like, I really have no idea what I'm doing. And I was dying a lot. So I turned them on just to play. And it was a good game. I really liked it. I don't know if I've rated it yet, but I think I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5. The graphics were good. I enjoyed the art style he chose. The music was amazing. I loved it. He did a great job with it. I enjoyed the story aspect to it. I loved finding all the secrets. There was literally like every little area on the map, there was something you hidden, and it was fun just spending time doing it. My wife enjoyed watching it because she, like I said, she enjoyed Zelda, so she was having fun with it. My daughters would have fun with it. They loved the little cute fox. Mm-hmm. So it was a very fun game, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like I said, I thought it was good. I just thought there were some things I just wanted to talk to someone about, and forcing someone to play it just seemed like the way to go.
So what do you want to talk about? What would you want to talk about it?
So I think, overall, I would agree that I played a lot of Zeldas when I was a kid. I also turned on accessibility towards the end. I guess, like, my main thing was, did you like how little it fed you information? Because the game just kind of said, like, it was like, where do we go? And the game just looks at you like, I don't know, figure it out. Like, kind of like an abusive father, just sort of threw you into the pool and hoped that you knew how to swim. Like, he'll drown or he'll swim. Yeah. And it drank its beer and sat back. And
And spoiler alert, that's what my wife likes to do when we go to pools for our young kids. Yeah. She just is like, I mean, she watches them obviously, but she still is like, go figure it out. Like, it's definitely a lot different than what you see games do nowadays. It's not, those things, it's like, there's endless tutorials in those other games. There's like holding hands through almost halfway through the game now. This does none of that. You wake up as a fox, the sun rises, and you're off. And you have to figure out what to do. You have to, the first thing you need to do is go find those pages as much as you can, and those give you little tips and everything. So it's going to be fun for some if you enjoy that stuff. If you're more of like, I just want to get my achievements or get my money's worth and move on, it's probably not the best game for those type of people, because it's going to take you some time to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I think if I was younger and I didn't have a full-time job and I was just given this and it was the only game that I ever had to play, like when I was younger, I would have loved this a lot more. I used guides sparingly, but I did use the guide.
Same.
Mostly because there would be a lot of times where I'd just be like, okay, but where do I go now? Yeah. Like, I just wanted a little direction. Just a smidgen of like, because there's a point when you do, like, you go to the forest temple and you do the thing, and then I was like, okay, but where are we going? Yeah. Like, what? I wanted that, and that's that. I think, but it's good because there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, you just did it wrong. You turned on the assist, and like, no, I did it the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But
they don't give you anything. You need to, and this isn't, I don't feel like this is really a spoiler, but it's like you have to hit those 2 bells at the beginning, one on each side, and they didn't even tell you, like, go in this direction. It's somewhere in this area. They just literally plopped you on the map and said, go figure it out.
Yeah, so, like, they didn't even tell you that you had to ring the bells.
Yeah, Nothing.
We're spoiling this for you if you don't know. And honestly,
well, I mean, there's still 20 hours left in the game after that.
And there are some of those puzzles that I have no idea how anyone would solve, like, that are just way too obtuse. And even if I was a kid who was really dedicated to finding it, that would
like some of those collectibles that you have to get that are behind walls. You have to input stuff, which are on the pages, but then it's just sitting there having to figure out, okay, go to this area, input this code, and it's on page, I think there's like a 60-page booklet that you have to find 2 pages at a time, and you have to figure out which page it is and what input code it is. And then the one on the mountain towards the end, that's, again, it's like 50 inputs, and that's just... It's crazy, and I'm the same way with you. Like, my gaming time is definitely, I like to keep it very streamlined because I don't get a lot of it at certain times, and trying to sit down and bang my head against a wall for 2 hours that I might get in a day, it's not very fun.
Yeah. And I can totally concede that there's a person that this is totally going to resonate with.
Yes.
And if you're listening and you're like, that sounds rad. I hate that games are just like, I think watched an Ego Raptor one where he's just like, everyone's like, Mega Man, you got to do this to shoot. It's like, it doesn't do that.
It's not like the old Halo games where you're in a level and you just have to go from the beginning of the level to the end of the level. There's nothing special about it. This is stuff to figure out if you want to get it, especially if you want to get it 100% and get all the collectibles and everything. It's going to take some time to figure out.
And even then, the way that it plays with its isometric scheme for some of the secrets as well, that there's this, like, there's sometimes when you take a hidden path and you're just like, wait, what? That was there the whole time?
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. One of the things I'm always worried about, I guess, or worried about with this format is I pick something and someone's just going to be like, what the hell, dude?
Well, I mean, I'm always like, this is why I like achievement hunting. It's ever since I've started it, however long ago, it's made me play games that I wouldn't play, and I've enjoyed new franchises, new style of games, and I enjoy it. And this was another one that was like, okay, this was definitely a very big work of art that the guy created, and it's fun. Yeah,
I would agree. I think it's definitely worth checking out. Still don't know what the story's about.
No, because there's no English in it, I think you die. I think, and that's not really a spoiler alert because, again, that's at the beginning of the game. But I shrugged. That's exactly like I finished the game and I got my last achievement and I went, huh. I shrugged my shoulders and I was like, okay.
I beat the final boss and I was like, did we learn anything?
Yeah.
There's 2 endings, and I did actually do both endings.
Yes, same here. Yeah, I think you have to. If you want to get the 100%, you have to do both of them, those 2 styles. But it's fun. I would recommend it. I know Koosh really likes it, and he needs to go back and finish it. So
and it's quick with the guide. I imagine if you tried to do it without, I can't say. I mean, it depends on how smart you are with puzzles.
Yeah. I would say with a guide, I think I saw some videos up that were 5 to 7 hours. With a guide, without, I would say 15 to 20 easily, maybe even more if you're trying to get everything, go everywhere.
I think I was at about 10 because, like I said, I just used it to, I used it for mop-up and I used it to give me direction. I just wanted to know, okay, where do I go? And once I got to the spot, I did the dungeon and figured it out on my own.
And I don't think you're locked out of anything either, so feel free to just go through and do whatever you want. If you pick up this game, I think we both recommend it. Go and have fun with it, and then whenever you do need to mop up stuff, you might have to start over, but it's really not that long of a game, so even if you do have to start over on a new save file, it's not going to take you long.
Yeah, no. There's one specific thing that you could miss that I knew about, and I just did it.
Yeah.
So I did have a weapon that I was not supposed to have.
Yeah, yes, I did that. That was my first achievement because I was just kind of looking at it because I wanted to make sure there wasn't any missables, and so I looked at it and I was going through it and I saw that and I was like, you know what? It only took like 20, 30 minutes. I was like, I'm just going to knock this out real fast, and then I can just go and enjoy the game from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you can actually, if you know what you're doing, you can get a lot of achievements very fast. There's a lot of hidden treasures that they don't make you privy to.
Yeah.
that do something. I don't know what the hidden treasures do. I never actually went to the room.
Yeah.
Never had. I don't know where it is.
I
have all of them?
Yeah, I did the fairies. The fairies are collectible. I went to that, and it was pretty cool to see them all swirling around into it, but, I mean...
Yeah. The hidden treasures that are in the chest, there's 12 of them, and I don't know what they do.
I think they're just little trinkets for your room.
Yeah, but I don't know where that room is. I never
You do. You
found it.
probably just didn't know that it was your room. It's one of the main rooms is you considered your room where you can sleep the night and everything. But
oh, and you change it to
yeah,
okay. Yeah,
I think
trying
that's
to
considered your main room.
Okay, I just didn't know because I thought there was an area where they all just kind of hung out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I'm trying to be as vague as possible so that because it is about the exploration, and even though I didn't want to learn at my own pace, I just kind of wanted to do it. Other people.
I don't think collectibles are really any spoilers, anyways. I mean, they were just little trinkets that.
Yeah.
I guess they wanted you to find.
They're interesting little puzzles. I can see from just knowing the solution.
Yes.
So.
Anyway, let's go from Tunic to the Minions of Hell.
Yeah, Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal's rad. I beat the main campaign, and while I own the DLC, I did not do the DLC for this. I just wanted to keep it kind of like if someone was playing on Game Pass, they could just do it and see what it was all about. Doom Eternal is... if Doom 2016 was like old Doom, this is Doom 2. So it takes place mostly on Earth, and it's the weirdest thing. There's a lot of climbing in some of the early levels, and that's what turned me off of it. So you have to do you have to jump onto a surface and climb and look back and kind of do some parkour-y, not total Mirror's Edge stuff, but I found those first few levels kind of clunky. But going back to it, they kind of ease that back a lot. Because, there was some levels where I'd get lost because it would try to add, verticality in a way that the other level in Doom 2016, it just didn't. And so I'd get lost, and I'd just be like, okay, where am I supposed to go, though? Because I don't want to... those two Doom games, I don't want to think. I just want...
Sure.
I follow my path based on a steady stream of dudes that want me dead, and that's how I know I'm going the right way. The more people want me dead, the more I have to be going the right way. And having little moments where it's just oh no, it's a platforming thing. And for me, it has a texture on the wall that's all craggly. And for some of those, there's a snowy kind of area, it looked just like the normal wall. So I don't know if that's just me. I'm also colorblind, so I could just be wrong or whatever. But I was just having a heck of a time figuring out where that is. That aside, Doom Eternal is great, and I highly recommend it. They've done a lot of cool stuff. They've streamlined collectibles. I almost have all the collectibles in it because they have the auto map, and it just tells you where they all are, and you can just go pick them up. And you can just go do the levels at your leisure.
Do you like that?
I do. I don't like searching for collectibles. I don't. It's just not in my blood. I hate it. And I also like the fact that, because I am going to be going through with a guide for some of them, because it tells you where it is, but not how to get there. So there's some of them where it's it's there, but you have to take a roundabout way, figure out how to unlock all that, and that can be a massive pain. So
yeah, especially because a lot of collectibles don't really add a lot to the story, and so when you're spending 5-10 minutes every time trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. Well,
that's nice.
And it's you have to get a codex entry. And, again, there's some people that probably love reading those codex entries and figuring out more about the lore. I like shooting demons.
Which I think most people are there for.
Yeah, I'm kind of it breaks the flow for me to just oh, stop. Let me read this term paper.
Yeah.
Yes. I like this anecdote.
Can you just imagine? A demon oh, let me write out my lore real fast and put it in this little bucket. That's gonna be.
We worked really hard on that lore. And I just like to, and it has a different system wherein so they have the glory kills. So if you've done Doom 2016, if you hurt an enemy enough, but not quite the flash, and then you can melee them, and then they turn into a big bloody pinata full of health. This one also adds, if you chainsaw enemies, they drop ammo, and if you set an enemy on fire, because they give you a flamethrower attachment, you can drop armor if they're on fire. So it's a mix of, like, ideal gameplay is a mix of trying to balance out all of those things, because something else that I didn't like at first was I kept running out of ammo for the guns that I liked, because this game purposefully, I would say, gives you less ammo in general to try to make you mix up which guns that you use, and they really hammer home the weaknesses for certain enemies. So I'm the kind of guy that just likes using the super shotgun because it's the best weapon in video games, and it's just like, no, dude, use these other guns that we made, please. Here, use them. And they're not different than any of the other guns. They're the same guns. Actually, I think it is exactly the same, minus like one uber weapon that you get at the end, an optional one. But yeah, they make you mix it up. Which once I started playing it by their rules and not mine, it made more sense, you know.
Did you like that? Because that was one negativity I'd heard after the game released, was people didn't like that kind of aspect of the game compared to the 2016 version.
I'm torn. So I get it, because one thing I've heard, like watching a lot of stuff from people who make video games, is they'll say stuff like, if given the opportunity, players will optimize the fun out of a video game. So they'll just they'll take the most efficient path and they'll like strip all of the fun out of it in getting there. So was it, I mean, there still was weapons that I didn't use though, or didn't find the usefulness of, and so I'm of two minds. I still really just would rather have been able to just use my super shotgun and do all that, but they add in a lot of cool things to try to balance it out, so it's different. I don't know. I can see it either way. I guess I would have preferred to just keep it the way that it was, but
I like that.
Different people are going to have it, you know, see it differently than I am. So I get that. And I like that they added in cool new, like, set piece stuff, and they mix up the environments a lot instead of just being Mars, because Mars and laboratories is fine, but adding in the cities and, you know, actually going to hell and taking the fight to them and all that, that's pretty rad. And the multiplayer is worse. I will say that. It's not, it's different.
And there's multiplayer achievements, right?
There are. They don't seem too bad to boost. You only need 3 people. But the idea is that it's 2 demons, 1 person's the Slayer, and the demons have to just kill the Slayer as fast as possible. And the demons are just... the Slayer's just killing demons. And that's kind of how it works. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't... were you a fan of in the 2016 with I felt it was kind of tacked on multiplayer, is the way to put it.
Well, I guess I played it with a group of people from the server. Okay. So it was one of the first things that I did as part of the community was Doom 2016. So I have really good memories of playing it, but it did feel a little tacked on. I enjoyed my time with it, but yeah, I was like, this didn't need to be. And I applaud them for trying. I just don't think that really hits the mark, and I don't see a lot of people playing that. But yeah. Also, you can deck out your Doom guy. Mine was dressed as Commander Keen for the entire playthrough, which made the cutscenes hilarious.
Yeah, probably would, yeah.
He had the big helmet and everything, and he would just like stand next to a demon and look all grim, and he's wearing a pink shirt. He's just ready to go.
I'm on my break, guys, but I think I need to put that on hold to kill you.
So, it's just Commander Keen all grown up. He's seen things.
Yeah. Ruined my PTO, man. I was trying to go visit the shores of Hawaii. Well, that's cool. I like that you can customize it, because I think in the last one I don't think you ever really saw much at all, even in the cutscenes.
No,
so that's nice.
You could customize your Slayer in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
But wasn't all that great. So, yeah, and you can also go for classic Doom 2 look, which is what I did for a while. So that was it's all very cool. I'm glad that this got me to play it because I'd just been sitting on it forever and just
I saw you had some achievements in it, but it's not. I think you had maybe 1 or 2 levels done or something. It wasn't very much.
Yeah, it done a bit of multiplayer, but now, it's a fairly easy completion too, since they tell you where all the collectibles are. Like, I would just find it's an auto map, and it would just tell you, like, here's the map, here's where everything is, and you could just be like, oh, cool, and then just grab everything. And from there, you only have to work on a few weapon upgrades, because that's a big thing, is like once you find the weapon mods, there's little challenges that you have to do. And this game has 7 skips that you can just find out in the world, and they'll just complete that challenge, that mastery challenge for you, so you don't have to do them. Which was a big thing in 2016, was that you had to figure out how to do all those stupid challenges for weapons that you may not have liked.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I could skip some of those. There's a walkthrough too. I did not use the walkthrough on TA, but I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
I just figured it out on my own.
So how would you? I would kind of say, you've got the older games, and then 2016 kind of did a modern update on it. How would this compare to the 2016 one?
This is, I would say this is just right on par with the 2016 one.
Okay.
There's some things that, if you liked that 2016 one, you're going to like it, and if you didn't like the 2016 Doom, then there's nothing that this game does that's going to make you feel like, oh, I should do this. It's not going to fix any of that. It's more Doom. As a fan of almost all of the Doom games, it's cool that they did that. It's better than Doom 3.
Okay.
Don't like Doom 3.
Not a hard. I was going to say that's kind of the going consensus. Is probably not the least favorite one of everyone's, but
hey, for what I could see, a Doom 3. Yeah.
It's just because you couldn't play as Commander Keen. That's the only reason.
Well,
right?
yeah, you add in Commander Keen, and then woof, 10 on 10, best of the series, baby. But yeah, I think it's worth a go. I have not tried. I own the DLC, but I have not tried the DLC yet. I believe it's just more story stuff. It's very story focused. Like, there's a lot more story to it, which is interesting because I've never. Not that I say I don't care about story in games, but just in Doom, I'm like, I don't know. Is this why you're here?
Yeah.
Like, does this
you're
matter?
You're here to shoot. Like you said, you just shoot, you move on. You shoot, you move on. The end of the game, great game. Let's move on to the next game. Like,
yeah, here's a big thing. Kill it.
Yeah.
And you do, and it's great. And as a guy that loved Doom 2, the original Doom 2, Hell on Earth, an absolute ton. It's a nice little love letter. There's a lot of hefty nods to it. So if you're a fan of the series, I think you could do a heck of a lot worse than this. And seeing that it's on Game Pass and everything, I would highly recommend it. This would be probably a pretty easy 4 to a 4.5 or good. So, depending on the day. So very good, very quick too. I don't think I spent all that much time on beating the story. I just played through on easy though, because you don't have to play through on a harder difficulty.
I like that.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm lazy as I've gotten older. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I have nothing to prove.
Like we were talking about with Tunic. You have so much time to play. Like, why am I gonna, grind my head against the wall trying to figure out how to beat it on whatever hell difficulty or whatever it is that's the hardest on this, and enjoy your time.
I don't need to beat things on nightmare difficulty anymore. You know what? There are better video gamers than me. If you think you are a better video gamer than me, then great.
You can look to the left and look to the right and be like, yeah, I beat it on hell, and no one's going to care.
Nope. Hey, I mean, as far as the achievement's concerned, as long as you beat the game, you can just say you did. No one will know.
True.
So, yeah, that was fun. I'm glad we did this. I think it was a good little experiment. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for a good recommendation.
Oh, hey, no problem. And so this is one for you, one for me. I've been Vulgar Latin.
I've been WildWest.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Later.